What is up? What is going on, everybody? I am back with the Mariners post game recap. Before I get started, as always, if you guys enjoy these videos, do me a favor, hit that like button. That helps me out tremendously. Hit the subscribe button as well. On the road to 2,500 subs. So thank you all to everybody that's done that. The like button, I can't tell you how much that helps either. I want to apologize for yesterday. The sound quality on StreamYard was really bad. It just kept glitching, so I'm not doing this video on StreamYard for that reason. And hopefully it's a little bit better quality, so I do apologize about that. Mariners lose 8-3. Definitely feels like the nail in the coffin. At least for me, felt like you had to get 2 out of 3 here, and they can't do it. I'm not going to go on some huge crazy rant in this game about anything. It more right now, it just kind of hurts. And if you guys want to go on rants, whatever, I get it. Certainly a lot to be frustrated about, so I'd understand anybody going on a rant. But you pour so much into a season. And listen, I'm not a player. I'm just a fan and doing stuff. But every night, I think I've watched most of every game or gone back and done it. And you have all the highs and the lows, and just right now, that feeling that it's just done. It's hard. You build up anger because you don't want to see it end. So you get angry at games because it means this could end. But then when you finally get to that moment of it ending, I don't have any more. I don't have the energy to yell at them about it. There's going to be plenty of time. I'm going to have off-season videos. There's going to be plenty of stuff that they need to fix. That is for certain. This is not me saying they're off the hook. I'm just saying right now, I don't have it in me. They're not officially eliminated. Listen, by tomorrow, I'll probably cope myself into believing they still have a really good shot. I'm still going to be here for all the games. We're going to take it one game at a time. And I'm not going to go through all the scenarios. I don't have the heart to do it right now. This team's September has just been so grueling that, I'm just going to take it one game at a time and we'll see what happens, from there. But I'm sure by tomorrow I'll have, like I said, I'll have I'll have had enough copium to believe that they're going to somehow do this and get in. But, as of right now, I'm just not going to go over it too much because it does feel kind of over. So, like I said, Mariners lose this one 8-3. First things I'll get into. Before the game, if you're on Twitter or X, the lineup was the big issue, and everybody was up in arms about the lineup the Mariners trotted out there because they had Dylan Moore, Sam Haggerty, Jose Caballero in there against the lefty, and Scott was getting blasted for it left and right. And listen, I don't love the lineup they rolled out there. It was not very good. But guys, I'll say it again. It's not like Ronald Acuna and Mookie Betts are sitting on the bench. I probably would have started Jared Kelenic. That's about it. But the bottom of the lineup actually did okay. Sam Haggerty walked and scored, or I think he scored. He walked that infield hit on base twice. Dylan Moore had a double and had a screaming line drive, 109 off the bat with a 710 expected batting average in the first inning. Dylan Moore did his job. And, then they pinched hit for those guys when the righties came in, and they kind of did their job. The Mariners lost this game, some pitching errors, and the Stars weren't stars tonight. They weren't. Julio was really bad tonight. Really bad. He had a good walk in the first inning. That was it. And I don't want to pile on a kid. I love Julio. I think he's going to be fine. He's 22. But he was really, really bad tonight. And it had nothing to do with Scott's lineup. I said it on Twitter before the game. The Stars have to play. The bottom of the lineup could be academic. It's not really going to matter if the Stars don't play. Teoscar Hernandez, terrible tonight, and not just on offense. Cal Raleigh was not very good. He grounded into a double play on a 3-1 pitch that was probably ball 4 in a 1-run game in the 5th inning. Gino was all right. JP had a good game. So some guys stepped up. Some guys did. But for all the talk about the lineup, it ended up being kind of a non-issue at the bottom of the lineup. Those guys kind of did their jobs. Caballero didn't really do anything, but, fine. Put Josh Rojas. Whatever. You know what I mean? Like, the bottom line is that wasn't the reason they lost this game. Let's get into the pitching. Bryce Miller. Bryce Miller went 4 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs, 4 and 1 walk, 4 Ks, gave up 2 home runs. This is the area where I'm going to get on Scott a little bit. I said yesterday in my pregame, my postgame yesterday, that I would give Bryce Miller 1 turn through this lineup, and then I'm getting him out of there. I would give him 1 turn plus Altuve and Bregman again, and then I'm going to the pen for Jordan and for Tucker. He got through 3 innings, looked really good, 3 shutout innings, and he ended that 3rd inning getting Alex Bregman in a 1-0 game. Send him back out there for the 4th. While I said that's not what I would have done, I didn't have a huge problem with it. I understand him going back out there for the 4th. I do. I get that. I didn't expect him to be pulled after 3. Jordan Alvarez gets him for a home run. Didn't even make me that mad. Didn't think the Mariners were going to win this game 1-0. Whatever. Jordan does that. He could hit a home run off any pitcher. Get Kyle Tucker to fly out. Then Jose Abreu has a base hit. Bryce Miller needed to be taken out right there. Too important of a game. Michael Brantley coming up right there needed to go get Gabe Spire or Taylor Saucedo or someone or Matt Brash. Somebody. Scott said Matt Brash was available tonight and kind of a silver bullet if they needed him, and Brash didn't end up pitching. That was the moment right there. Go get Matt Brash right there in a 1-1 game. Or go get Spire there to face Brantley, because then Brantley singles and then Dubon hits the 3-run home run off of Bryce Miller. I get it. I do. I don't necessarily, I don't want to be too critical of Bryce Miller. He's been called on this season in a year that maybe we thought he'd make a debut in the summer, maybe in August, September. He's been in this rotation pretty much the whole year. Something just went off. I don't know what that was. And he's battled. He deserves blame. He gave up 4 runs in 4 innings. But I would have taken him out. I think Scott should have taken him out. If not before the 4th inning, I get leaving him in there. I do. But I think after that Jose Abreu hit, he needed to come out. It's too important of a game. And this is what Bryce Miller has done for the last few months. Like, starts out good, and then it's kind of a one-trick pony, and guys catch up to it. You know what I mean? And they sit on that fastball, and it's just middle. And he's thrown some okay breaking stuff. He's gotten some better results from the slider and the 2-seamer, and I applaud that. But when he falls into trouble, he goes back to the tried and true, and that's the 4-seamer. And left it middle, and Dubon hit it out. Then you go get Spire, Topa, and everything that happened after that. I'm not going to break it down too much. I'll talk about a couple more things. So the Hector Neris-Julio situation in the 6th inning. I have no idea what Hector Neris is doing. I'm sorry. And I would say the same thing if it was Andres Munoz running towards the mound at Jordan or Alex Bregman or whoever. I'd be like, I have no idea what he's doing. He wants to celebrate. That's fine. I have no problem. And I know Neris is a big one of these guys, and that's fine. Do it off going the other way towards the dugout. Dude, you earned it, man. You came in, you shut down the Mariners. I have no idea why he's walking towards Julio. And there was nothing in the video Root Sports kept trying to show about the home run he hit off Neris last year, where Julio was doing a little of this, but not at Neris. I have no problem with guys pumping their chest, bat flipping, celebrating. But he didn't just look at Julio, he walked towards Julio. With that said, though, I can tell you one thing. Hector Neris and the Houston Astros don't give 2 hoots about my opinion, and they don't give 2 hoots about yours. They answered. They responded in that 7th with 3 runs. Say what you want. You can call them names, call the Astros names. I don't have the energy to do it, but they respond. They get the runs. They get the outs. In a big game, their guys stepped up. They may have gotten their clocks cleaned by the Royals, but they put their big boy pants on this series and got it done where the Mariners could not. They stepped up. So while I don't like it, I understand what Neris's antics were all about. At the end of the day, you got to play baseball. And that was still a terrible at-bat by Julio in that instance. It kind of gets forgotten because of the antics, but that was a brutal at-bat from Julio. And then you get to the 7th inning, because that was in the 6th with Neris. 1-run game still. Altuve flies out, 1 down. Alex Bregman lands a kind of a Texas leaguer in there, and Teoscar Hernandez has it bounce right past him. Little league stuff. And then Julio has trouble picking up the ball, and Bregman gets to 3rd. Cannot happen. And I said I wasn't going to yell them. I just don't have it in me, but can't happen. You can't have that happen in a game this magnitude. And I don't know, baseballs, footballs take some of the weirdest, stupid bounces you can imagine. But it can't, I don't care if it took a weird bounce. It can't happen. You cannot have that happen. Then they walk Jordan. Brash comes in, probably a little gassed from yesterday, and gave up some bloopers and stuff. I mean, they fell in, and I'm not taking away from Houston by saying that, but just is what it is. And then the route was kind of on. Mariners had some traffic in the later innings to maybe chip away. More poor at-bats, more runners left. It's been the story all September. Yesterday was great. I'm glad they won it. But man, this team has been off all month. It has been off all month. And blame whoever you want. There's blame, in my opinion, to go around to everybody. I said in my live stream, I think ownership, I think the front office, I do think Scott, and I think the players. If you're just going to blame one, like if you just want to blame Scott, fine. I do not have the energy to argue it with anybody. But players got to play. And Julio, brutal today. Teo, brutal. Cal, not as brutal, but brutal. I mean, the runners in scoring position issues, brutal. Yeah, I would have taken Bryce Miller out, but Bryce Miller, brutal. The defense, brutal. And listen, Scott's the manager. He's got to get these guys ready to go for that stuff. So from that aspect, like I said, I'm not trying to say Scott's off the hook for anything, but if you think it's just that, it's not. The players have to be better. And yeah, it's just a bad month all around for everybody in the organization. Didn't have to be a great September for them to get in this thing. It didn't have to be. Probably a 500 month would have gotten it done. I know this wasn't the normal recap. I didn't go through it all. I mean, I just want to talk about some key points with this one. Do you really need me to go through the whole box score? JP had a nice game. That leadoff home run. They had a chance to really extend and get Framber Valdez out of this game early. They had him on the ropes in the first inning. JP at the home run. Julio walked. That was a nice at-bat. Did Gino walk too? Did Gino? What? Hold on. Because JP homered. Yeah, Julio walked. Gino walked. I was thinking the bases weren't loaded. JP homered. First and second, Julio stealing third. Teo swings at ball 4. To Dylan Moore's credit, he stung a ball 109 off the bat. I mean, anywhere else, and that's a ringing double. I mean, I will say that. I wonder if that Dylan Moore ball gets down, if this game outcome changes a little bit. And they did chase Framber Valdez. I mean, Valdez is really good. I'm not going to say they did terrible against Valdez. He went 4 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned, 5 walks, 7 Ks. But 10 base runners in 4 innings. They did get those 3. Gino got the big hit in the 4th inning to cut it to 4-3. But man, they needed a couple more. It felt like they should have had 5 or 6 off Valdez. And that changes the complexion of the game and how it goes. And listen, too, if you score another couple runs, maybe you get up 3-0 in that first inning. Yeah, Miller gives up the home run to Jordan, but maybe he settles in a little bit less nerves pitching with a non-1-0 lead, pitching with a couple run cushion. Maybe Dubon still gets you, but it's 4-3. Then you get those couple runs back, you take the lead. Missed opportunities, everything, just story of September. And again, like I say every series, was this series the reason they're not getting in? No, probably not individually. The Astros are a good team. They beat you. The Mariners had a good season against the Astros. It's unfortunate the one series they lost to them was this one, but it's just all of September. There's no one game or series I can point to tell you why they're not in. I wish I could. It would be great for clicks to be like, this is the reason. It was the whole body of work. It was not the Mets series. It was not the Reds series. It was not the one game to the A's where Kirby got sick. It was not the 3 games in Tampa, the 3 games to the Dodgers, the 3 games to the Rangers, the 2 games to Houston. It wasn't any of them. It was all of them. It's everything. That's why they're not there. I mean, I can point to little things like they just could have gotten a game here and there. Yeah, of course, but it's all of it. It's all of it in total. They didn't have to win all of those, but they needed to win some. They've just left too many games out there. to be able to get in. They were fortunate that Kansas City did some work for them against Houston and give them a shot here, but they couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. At least you got to take on the team that you were chasing. It's certainly not going to be for lack of chances, I guess, is what I'm trying to get at. The worst thing is when you never get that shot to get in. Sort of probably how, like, a Lions fan would have felt for football last year when the Seahawks beat the Rams. You never really had that shot. Not, every team can blame themselves. There's losses you could have won, but you know what I mean? The Mariners had shots. They had chances. They played the teams. It's tough. Like I said, I don't have a lot to get into. It's a little emotional. Just doing all these post-game recaps and seeing it come to an end. It's been a special season for me, getting to connect with all of you and getting to do this. And the cope's coming, but it's not over. It's not. If you can win tomorrow, maybe Toronto loses. You're a game back of two teams that you have a tiebreaker on, so it's not impossible for them to do this. But I'm saying I don't have the energy to do it. I'm literally doing it. I'm not going to dive too much into it. If they win tomorrow, great. We'll do the post game. We'll talk about it, and we'll talk about where they stand and go from there, one game at a time. But it really does feel like it's over. That felt like the game you need to get. So thank you all for watching, joining. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment. I'm sure you're all just as frustrated as I am, and I'm sorry for no rants and raves. I just don't have it in me tonight. Today's more of just that, like, it's sort of when if you get rejected or something, you don't get the job or you didn't get the date or whatever it is. And it's more of that just emotional feeling before the anger. The anger will come later for me. Right now, it's just more emotional, putting in that investment and have them struggle. So thank you all for joining me. Before I get too emotional here, I'm going to log off. Not over. It's not, but we'll see. Have a great night, everybody. Thank you again for watching if you've made it this far. And as always, go Mariners. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.